In 9 weeks, Gav, you're going to be in New Jersey going to Camp Crystal Lake on Friday the 13th.
No way.
That's what's happening. You've got no choice. It's booked.
Every time that you say it, I'm like, as if this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
I thought you were going to say, like, it's actually real. I was like, it is real.
No, this is like the first time I'm hearing about it. It's not the first time I'm hearing about it. I have been preparing. We have been preparing by watching Friday the 13th.
And this week, we were watching Friday the 13th,
Ooh.
A New Beginning. And I have to be honest, I found it a slog.
Give me a little plot summary of Friday the 13th.
Well, this took more writing than the film, I think.
Yeah.
5 years after the events of the final chapter, Tommy Jarvis is a disturbed adult trying to find solace in a halfway house near Crystal Lake. But inexplicably, Jason returns from the dead and kills a ridiculous amount of people. Or does he?
What a lovely, interesting and thoughtful exploration of mental health issues that we get here at Pinehurst Youth Development Centre.
Yeah, I mean...
Do you know what's weird, though, about Pinehurst Youth Development Centre? I feel like that is a posh way of saying summer camp. Because if someone was like, oh,
Youth Development
I'm
Centre.
working at a youth development centre.
They've rebadged it.
Yeah, like, if someone was
Wait, are you doing... This is the thing, like, Pam is like, is it a camp or
Yeah,
not?
no, that's how they get around. That's how they get Pam to leave him alone.
Because, like, the guy is like, he's super cool. It's like, was it Dr. Matthew Letter? He's like, yeah, you don't have to be here. I'm pretty cool.
He's a real weird mix, that guy, of like...
Well, bear in mind what happens. I feel like you should be a bit more on it, clinically.
He's a real weird mix between being... I was like, oh, okay, we've actually got a normal human being here, being quite sensitive and thing. And as soon as Tommy walks out, he's like, fuck, he doesn't say much, does he? And I was like, whoa, hang on a minute.
I don't really know what Matthew's getting from this experience.
It's fucking horrible, man. So how does it connect?
Well, loosely.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of gives you a curveball in the prologue because you feel like it's going to connect more closely than it actually does. So we have this like sequence at the time. You have nothing to orientate yourself in the sequence, and it's Corey Feldman playing Thomas Jarvis.
Yeah,
and you get a prologue where Jason is resurrected.
Yeah,
but is that a dream?
That's the thing. Is like, you know, I don't mind things being dreams, and I like that this series because, like, you know, like
I've got a series for you.
Well, but like, you know when you grow up and you're in school and stuff like that, it's like I feel like every English teacher says, or Welsh, every English or Welsh teacher says to their
you mean
like,
subject
pupils,
or nationality?
Subject.
Oh, right,
subject.
right,
Yeah,
right.
So they say like never write. And it was all a dream. Like they literally, was not allowed in our school. I think it's pretty much universally panned because they're like, well, that's how you write yourself out of corners and stuff like that. But I don't mind it in Friday the 13th because they've established that like dream scenarios are a cool thing. And I like that. But this is a strange one because it feels like the people in the thing are acting like normal people.
So this sequence ultimately plays like a trauma nightmare.
Yeah.
So we know when we lift Tommy Jarvis in the last film, he seems like he's disturbed. And there's this weird like Omen-like knowing glance where he breaks the fourth wall and looks at us and he's like, ang.
Yeah.
Like I've either had a psychotic break or Jason is somehow living through me or whatever. There's been like a transference of evil.
Yeah. I think that's where we kind of...
But that's where this film kind of ends up ultimately. And we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So this is like, it kind of has its cake and eats it.
Yeah.
But this prologue, I think it's more a concession to the fact they couldn't get Corey Feldman.
Right.
So apparently he was doing the Goonies and he just wasn't available.
Yeah.
Because we said with the last film that year he had that and Gremlins. So by the time this film comes around, he's a big star.
Yeah, okay.
So he's making a film with Steven Spielberg and Richard Donner.
Yeah, can you imagine that agent ringing up Spielberg? Release him from Goonies to do what? No, I don't think we will be doing that, actually.
I know. And Corey Feldman's like, oh, I'd love to do it.
In a
way.
Oh, I want to do it. Spielberg, you got to speak to.
Yeah,
really.
you know, I'm a kid. What can I do?
No way.
So apparently, all his scenes are filmed in his back garden. So he doesn't even see Jason.
He's like, we'll do it. We'll do it anyway. We'll do it in your back garden. Fine. We'll do it in your back garden.
but that whole sequence ultimately primes you going into the film that maybe Jason has come back from the dead.
Yeah.
Even though that exists in maybe a nightmare, you don't know whether is that Tommy having a vision.
Yeah.
So it loads you with this information that Jason might not be dead.
Yeah.
Which ultimately I think confuses a lot of what comes. So I don't know how much of that was like an intentional choice, or a lot of this is just a concession to the fact that actually we can't have Feldman, and if we have Feldman we make a different film.
Yeah, that's true, actually,
because you would do, because you're like, he's really popular now, Gremlins has come out,
so you think because I guess
that's obviously an entirely different movie.
Because
you've got this time jump again,
because I guess they do kind of go with another little kid. The little kid is a big old part of it. So maybe some of that would have like weaved in or something like that. But who knows if Corey Feldman would have gone to meet a man who is his brother just in a van on a dirt track road.
Demon
as well. Like,
do you think Tommy has a brother called, if you're naming your second kid Tommy, do you name your firstborn Demon? Because he's called Reggie. Reggie and Demon. Weird name choices. But we've got this time jump of 5 years again. So between the original Friday the 13th and the second one, there was a time jump of 5 years. And we spent the last few films actually catching back up to real time, only to jump forward 5 years again. Because we worked out in the last podcast that we were on by Wednesday the 18th by the end. So it kind of gets out of those problems of like stuff being out of date. But again, we're 5 years in the future here. So we're kind of like 89, 90.
It's weird, isn't it? Like, I don't know what the play is.
Just to make Tommy older, I guess. Has to be.
It definitely feels like a different film. In all the films that have come before, because they were like further in the past, the drug of choice was weed, right? And I feel like in my limited experiences with drugs, weed is quite a chill drug, and I feel like those films,
it's famously chill.
I think like and those films seemed similar, like tone kind of thing. Whereas this makes a big jump to cocaine, and then turns into like what I think of when I think of cocaine is people being incredibly obnoxious.
I think everyone in this film is obnoxious.
But
Billy is just fodder to be killed, but he's like a cartoon. When he like has drugs and he's like, woohoo! What is he's that's like a cartoon noise. But I think tonally this film is different, and why I think I dislike this film is when people think you like horror films or slasher films, I think this is what they imagine, which is that intersection of something really violent, but thoughtless, crass, and really smutty. Like the sex stuff in this is like full on like what was this film, like Confessions of a Window Cleaner?
It does feel like that.
Where they're just like romping in the woods.
When Lana just opens up her thing and flashes herself in the bathroom.
It's like this is not real. I'm thinking like Friday the 13th Part 1 is like cinema verite. But this is just like, no, this is bizarre. It's almost like Benny Hill music should be playing when they're running through the woods.
It feels odd and weird and grubby. Do you know what I really likened it to is like, in Halloween, like the switch to Rob Zombie. And like those films, like the Rob Zombie Halloween films, I think like are some of my least favorite films ever made, I think, because the tone of them is so grubby and nasty, whereas this is grubby, and it just feels odd.
It's grubby, it's bawdy, it's
obnoxious,
screeching. Like there's a few other characters we'll get onto later. I don't know who can even do that really in terms of like what was on the page, what did they think they were doing. But the director Danny Steinman, he was actually a porn director, right? So suddenly a lot of that clicks into place. Suddenly he was an exploitation filmmaker but also had a background in porn, which I don't think was known to everyone.
So the things that I've known about him from other people talking about him, and obviously we have to just go on, we're historians here, we have to go on just things.
It's basically Simon Sharma of Friday the 13th. You breaking through doors.
The things that I knew, that he was a porn director and apparently loved cocaine, and I feel like that this film honks of it.
Write what you know. First edict of good writing. Write what you know.
Because it's just
tits and blow.
It's an incredibly obnoxious film. Like the editing in it is absolutely bonkers. And I was like, there's no way this editor ever worked again. I looked him up. Yeah, he's worked loads. Absolutely loads.
The editor actually has like decent connections.
Yeah. Because I think he was like an assistant editor on like Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I think somebody vouched for it, but I think he tells a story in the Camp Crystal Lake doc where he goes to the set of the day where they're having the sex scene, and he's seen what they're filming, and apparently that is majorly cut down because I think they pretty much filmed.
I think I saw it was like 3 minutes long or something like that.
I think the dude's like, "Hey, it looks like I finished really quickly in that."
Yeah.
Because she was an ex-Playboy bunny,
right? Okay.
And Danny Steinman cast her for a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
And it was cut down because I think he got into edit bay and he was just like, it's basically porn.
Yeah. Can't do this. Like,
so maybe he's just working with what he got given.
Yeah. I looked at some of others' credits. Cool Runnings, Phenomenon, and Big Mama's House.
Phenomenon. Yeah. What a career that is.
Know, yeah. He's still going. He's still going.
But it's a strange film, but I think there's lots to talk about. I also think it's amazing that the year before, now we're done with this.
Yeah.
And then within the space of a year, it's not a long time to make a film.
No.
It's back, and they do, I think, I don't know if it's to its credit, but at least there's an intention to do something different. And I guess a lot of this, what we'll talk about, is just how maybe you mess that up.
I don't think I've ever seen a film have so many good ideas but not deliver on any single one of those ideas.
Which makes me feel like some of them are accidental.
Yeah, maybe.
Like a broken clock.
But yeah, it's an interesting one. No, I was trying to work this out. Is it on Friday the 13th?
There's no mention of it that I found or detected. I think it's also really unclear whether it's close to Crystal Lake or not.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think ultimately my conclusion is it has to be for people to know more about Jason and for Roy to have paper clippings.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But also then, why is Tommy... I've got loads of unanswered questions, but why is Tommy... Why would you not move further away?
Because the thing is, I was like, why aren't they talking about Jason more? And then I thought maybe that's because it is actually quite far away from Camp Crystal Lake, so they wouldn't be.
But it's like 5 years later.
Yeah.
But also maybe some characters wouldn't want to say it around Tommy.
Yeah.
But like Reggie would have been like one.
Yeah.
But also we know from other films that even 10 years ago, at the time of part 2, it was like almost myth.
Yeah, that's true.
So what's it like now in 1990 in film time?
But yeah, you thing is, you would think like someone keep coming back and killing people. They'd be like, this is massive news. The thing is, would you be talking about it every day? Maybe you wouldn't. I don't know.
I think the police should.
Yeah. And also, particularly, I feel like the characters in the, what the fuck are they called? The Youth Development Center would be like, oh, you know who that is? I feel like there'd be a bit more of that. Whereas that doesn't really happen.
With these films, it's hard to know how easily word can spread it's Jason because the people who see him die.
Yeah, no, that's true, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, when would it cotton on that, fuck, this is Jason?
Yeah.
Because he never gets like in a crowd early on, so he's almost like executing people silently. Like like Hitman style. So it's not like people can piece together the picture of what's going on.
Yeah, because what's the plan? If he gets seen,
Just kill them all.
He'll go, it was Jason.
Yeah.
But like, if he gets caught or killed, they're gonna go, oh, it weren't Jason.
Yeah.
It's a strange one. I mean,
we need to talk about Jason.
Let's talk about Jason, yeah.
So, just very briefly, should we talk about the Jason in the nightmare sequence at the beginning?
Yes.
He looks like a big egg.
Yeah.
He's got a really round mask.
I think that's the really difficult thing with that mask. Like, we've got one, and when you stick it on, it does look very egg-like.
You need a big, and we've got big heads.
But that's the thing, is like, it's either looks like an egg, or it can look too wide as well, and look like a big old like, moon face.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm not sure what the best thing to do, but I feel like there was not a lot of budget for mask stuff going on in this, is there?
But then the confusing thing is, like we said, that kind of preloads you with this idea that Jason may have come back from the dead.
Yeah.
So they say one thing in the documentary, and I don't know how much this is the optimism of retrospect, where they're like, oh, we were going for this.
Yeah.
Because they keep going like, oh, we were going for the whodunit vibe. I don't know if there's enough of that. It
definitely isn't.
Because especially with this sequence preloads you with the idea that maybe Jason has come back in some way. But then they make the concession of having two masks to distinguish between now and then.
Yeah.
So he's got this new mask.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But look, there's not enough to go on. Because ultimately, the new Jason is Roy.
Yes.
who is the paramedic.
Correct.
Whose son, Joey, gets killed at Pinehurst. Okay?
Yeah.
I love the idea when they're like, oh, it's like a whodunit. But when you see, he has the weirdest reaction to that death. Like, you're not going to jump that it's his son. No. But, like, it's bizarre.
For a paramedic to have that
is a bizarre reaction.
Yeah.
Because also, he's got very pale irises. It almost looks like David Banner when he turns into the Hulk.
Yeah, he does a bit, yeah. It's really strange because I didn't remember what was happening. So it was good that I could actually just experience it as it was happening. But I assumed from the lingering shots on him, and like when my favorite bit is when the police guy is talking to one of his deputies. No, in the middle when like somebody else has died, and the police guy's like talking, and Roy just goes, "You talking to me?" And he goes, "No, Roy, I was talking to him." And then there's like another lingering shot on Roy's like, we don't know how to get Roy in there.
And then he's gone.
Yeah. Because but
I don't think, I really would like to have more like audience testimony at the time, whether they were going, was a copycat. Are people actively thinking that?
Yeah.
I think you're just thinking Jason's back, surely.
Yeah, and I think obviously that beginning bit definitely does that. But then also, the thing that I did kind of go, why the fuck do they keep showing me this Roy guy? But then I was generally thinking back to part 4, where we were kind of talking about this sort of like evil transference thing. I mean, like, even though he's not been in contact with Jason, he's been in contact with like a gruesome death.
And he's near the lake.
Yeah. So like, is something to do with that?
But also where they get to.
Yeah.
Even though I'll just mention a couple of things that are more confusing, but what they ultimately get to is they kind of do mirror the motivation from the first film.
Yeah.
This is a parent taking revenge because of the death of the child. Similar to Pam, he's a negligent parent because as he just dumped Joey, just dumped Joey there and forgotten about him. So it's like you feel guilty, but is that like your own guilt of the fact that you're not actually involved in his life at all? Okay. But the thing that obviously just makes it incredibly confusing is, this is 10 years after the events, 5 years after the last one, that he's always had in his back pocket this idea of like dressing up like Jason, because those are all news clippings.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought of that actually. They were like, oh, we also found these news clippings on him.
That's the horrible scene at the end where the sheriff just goes, and we found these in his wallet.
Yeah.
And it's like all news clippings. One of the news clippings is a photo of Jason in mask.
Who's done that? Who's taken that?
So when I saw that photo, I was like, who's taken that?
Yeah. Because he needs to have seen...
No, it's a hockey mask. But he's gone, well, I'm not going to do the same hockey mask either, but I'm also going to create a mask of his bald head.
Oh, yeah, that's
because that's the weird... Like, processing the death of his son has a psychotic break, and he goes, I'm going to make my Jason mask and the hockey mask, but I'm going to change the hockey mask. Why not? Yeah. So I want to basically think... Do you know what I mean? That's just very confusing.
No, it is very strange because, I mean, that it's obviously just really muddled with the news clippings. Because if you get rid of the news clippings and just have Jason at least mentioned, or, around like the legend of Jason mentioned a little bit more, that does that for it. Because then you'd be like, oh, that makes sense for him why he has a different mask. Yeah. Because then you'd be like, oh, it was a hockey mask. He just went and got any hockey
But he's got a photo reference.
Yeah.
But because he also needs that reference for like maybe Jason's disfigurement.
It's really
like, has he always had this ready to go and he's just waiting for an excuse?
I guess that kind of goes back to what we were saying when we were watching part 1, is like, how fair is it as a whodunit? And because there's a bit where he's breathing and he's down. That's just a man's neck. That is not a rubber neck or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're like, and you see him walk in, and then when you see the mask open, you're like, that wasn't what that was.
No, because you see like, if that's a mask, it's going all the way.
It's got to be so good, yeah.
We're talking makeup skills at the level of Tommy Jarvis.
Yeah.
This is the weird thing, and I guess this jumps ahead a bit to our final bit where we talk about the ending, but I think it's pertinent here.
Yeah.
If you do know who done it, one of the other tropes you can have is a red herring.
Yeah. And
it feels like they flirt with the idea of suggesting Tommy is that.
Yeah.
And he's not.
Because he does disappear. Tommy disappears for a good chunk of that last bit.
But then it can't really function.
No.
At the end. But then also, fuck it. Let's just have Tommy killing someone.
It's also Tommy. Yeah.
Tommy is also going to kill people in the Jason mask.
Because also the really strange thing is I think they kind of see the idea that Tommy is this sort of like violent guy.
Because he keeps seeing Jason in like his mind, like in the mirror, which are quite actually a bit Michael Myersy when he's in the garden.
Yeah. And he keeps beating people up as well. Very successfully.
Suplexing.
Right. That's really good. I don't mind the Roy thing to a point if they go all in on it, but it's like this idea, and then they just don't go for it at all.
Well, it's quite shocking when Joey dies.
Yeah,
when Vic just unleashes on him.
I had no idea that was happening.
It's really quite shocking, and also when again just weird little characters being unnecessarily annoying. The other paramedic, you a bunch of pussies, and he uncovers him. It's like, what Joey's body looks like is horrific.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
Because you see how many times Vickers actually attacked him.
He went
and his arms, you're like, oh, that actually does look horrific.
Yeah.
And I guess you want it to look horrific so you can get away with Roy having a big reaction, even for a paramedic.
Yeah, that's true.
But it stays on Roy for far too long. Why not just make it also Tommy? I think this is where they just try and do it all.
Yeah.
The backlash to this film just shows you they've got such fear that it has to be Jason. And even they don't have the conviction of their own belief with this because they can't do the Tommy thing fully. Maybe that's because Corey Feldman's not available.
Yeah.
They don't fully commit to it because they're still like, it's a new killer, but he's still going to look like Jason.
Yeah.
Still going to have all the imagery of Jason. So it's like, still going to be near Crystal Lake. It's like, you can't quite untether yourself from it.
Nah, and they don't want to either, do they? Just
and now after this one, they can't not. And this could just because it's one of those things you conflate two things. Is this a bad idea or was it a good idea done badly?
That's the thing. I genuinely think that it's a good idea done badly.
Yeah,
because that's what I mean. Like, I'm into the Roy thing. I like that. I'm sort of into the Tommy Jarvis thing. It's just neither of those things deliver well.
Yeah, because we said really even in the final chapters that like that one lingering shot of her mum, where it's almost meant to insinuate, oh, is it her mum?
Yeah,
and this idea of vengeful or overprotective parents.
Yeah,
which is kind of the theme that they pick up with Roy.
Yeah,
but it's just buried in a lot of convoluted, messy stuff. The Roy stuff doesn't quite hung together, like why he had it all ready to go.
No,
and why he was obsessed with Jason already.
Yeah.
And then I guess what we're going to get onto now is just a load of really annoying people and really annoying victims, and also no supernatural element.
No, that's true. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, a lot of people die in this film. Give me some stats. Give me some stats.
Series high so far of 22.
Wow.
With only 4 taking place off screen. So in total, we get to watch 18 very annoying people be murdered in this film.
That I wrote that down. It was like, was it like a conscious effort for them to make as many of them so unlikable that you're actually rooting for their death? Because one of the first films I actually was like, I actively want these people to die.
I guess that's a bit of a sliding scale of slasher films.
Yeah.
Whether you're rooting for the victims, and it's a very different dynamic if you're rooting for the killer.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
I think that's a transition that Nightmare on Elm Street particularly underwent.
Yeah.
When Freddy became, Freddy was on kids' pajamas.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly.
He's a child murderer.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure.
But I think you are, because so many of these people only exist to be... I know that's been the case with the previous films, but I think in the previous ones, they were kind of just like normal kids.
Yeah.
Whereas this, they're like cartoons and deviants.
I think... sometimes when you're watching horror movies, and I think it is true what you just said, is like this film does feel like what people think slasher movies are.
I'd be embarrassed to like show someone this and go, "Are you into this?"
I mean, this is I'm making a podcast on this.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Junior and his mom. I think like they're in a different film.
You know what?
They're in a completely different film. Or how?
So they're like local rednecks, is what they're presented as, but they immediately turn up just really anti the health center.
Yeah.
The lad Junior, it reminds me as if Chris Pratt was playing the dad character from Independence Day.
Yeah, that is what it is, yeah. Sometimes when you look at things and you go, adults made this. And like someone had to go action, then someone had to go cut. And then the actors are like, any notes on that?
They've gone home and going, did a good job.
Yeah, and then the director's gone, no, that was sick. Carry on. Next scene. Let's set up for the next scene. Because I'd be like, let's run that back a little bit. Yeah. Because I would maybe dial that down maybe by about 400%. And then we'll have a talk about what these characters are. It's bonkers.
when Junior gets beaten up by Tommy and then goes home crying to his like, kill him, Ma. And then kill them all.
And then just that wild first person like shot of him like crying and riding his motorbike around really quickly.
It feels like it goes on forever.
It feels like that's the kind of like, you know, the mania in that. It was getting close to like Texas Chainsaw Massacre level.
There's quite a lot about their presentation that is like that, and not just because they're presented as rednecks.
No,
but kind of this is the weird thing I was going to ask you about. It's like their house.
Yeah.
Initially, because they're quite dirty and grubby, their house and there's birds strung up. It presents as like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
And he's eating like a really horrible pot of gruel. But when you actually look what she's preparing, it looks really nice.
Yeah, it looks decent now.
Because she's cooking with like fresh herbs.
Yeah.
She's got fresh meat.
Yeah.
What's in the pot that she gets a face pushed into? There's like red cabbage.
Yeah, it looks all right. Yeah, that's a good shout.
And it's clear water.
Yeah.
She's actually making it's like, you know, decent.
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually.
They're not like cooking disgusting, rotting meat.
But again,
when she goes, hiya, when she cops the chicken.
We keep getting introduced to these people as if it is a whodunit. Because you get introduced
as like almost like as he killed the mum's killed before.
Yeah, so we get introduced to the people. We get introduced to that weird drifter that turns up at their house as well.
That they employ.
Yeah, so then you're looking at all these different bits and going, oh, they are introducing to me a lot of different characters that are not just in the hospital, the children's center, wherever. You're getting introduced to all these different characters. You're like, oh, is it a little bit of a who? But no, I'm putting that on myself.
And also, like, it could only be Junior because there's a certain form factor to Jason, unlike Ghostface, where you can kind of go,
that's true.
Could be a man or woman. I don't know.
Yeah, saying that, like that, I do think. I thought Roy looked massive in his paramedic outfit.
Pretty. That's why maybe he rises. He looks like the midpoint between Bruce Banner or David Banner in that TV show and Lou Ferrigno, Hulk.
Yeah.
Because he's got Robin's dreaming. The dreams.
Dream sequence.
The Dream Master is going through.
Wow, he's really dreaming.
That's right, he does that quite like now.
Like I didn't even think that Roy looked quite big in his paramedic thing. As soon as he's in Jason's clothes, I think he looks quite gormless and small. Yeah. Like, he doesn't look that big, but you are right. Like, it can't be the man.
Can't be the man.
Could be the drifter. Can't be It could be Junior. You know, like he's like
Tommy's pretty built. They show Tommy being pretty built.
Oh my god, yeah, he looks amazing.
He's meant to be 17.
That's good.
Although 17-year-olds are jacked now. So
yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah.
Good on them. Good for them. Loads of annoying people. So Mom and Junior are really annoying. Mm-hmm. Billy and Lana, the cokehead and the waitress, are really annoying.
Oh my god, yeah.
They only exist in that one brief sequence.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of annoying stuff with very short screen time.
Yeah.
Pete and Vinny.
Oh my god.
Like the greasers.
What year is this?
Like scatting.
Like,
but it's just like when he's like scatting, I'm just like, to be fair, I like how some of them are killed. I
yeah.
like the flare in the mouth.
Yeah.
But that scatting thing, I was just like, I can't wait for
But the same with like Demon on the toilet singing with his girlfriend.
Ooh, baby.
What is going on?
Do you think part of that is like, I know in edit we will need to fill time.
Yeah.
So let's just do stuff that fills time.
I couldn't work out if their relationship was good or bad.
Who?
Because
Pete and Vinny?
No. Demon and his girlfriend. Like, because it seemed like they were kind of like getting on in the van when they were eating.
Yeah.
I mean, like they got so much food in that van as well going
Demon
on.
and Anita.
Demon and Anita. But then in the toilet bit, it was like, oh, they're like friends. And he's like, and then I think at one point he's like, you're going to get it, bitch. What? I thought you were mates. You were singing 2 seconds ago.
Ooh, baby.
It's, yeah.
That's why you don't eat an enchilada.
Yeah. God, that's what I mean. Even the music is like cartoony.
Yeah.
When they go and do that.
That, you know, we're just talking, right, so we've just done 3 groups of 2.
Yeah.
So we've got 6 people there.
Yeah,
I'll add you a couple more in.
Yeah.
I'll add you Tina and Eddie.
Yeah.
Just the nymphomaniacs who just literally can't stop rutting.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. If you compare it to previous series, a staple of the series so far will have a guy and a girl at some point. They'll like go off and just have sex. It's a little core element of this series. They just can't stop.
They get arrested by the police.
Yeah, the beginning, like, they're shagging.
Yeah.
They have rooms on hand as well.
I'm not massively au fait on like what everyone, I don't want to say got, But I don't understand why everyone is there, because it seems like some people are working there and some people are just there. It's kind of like a halfway house sort of thing.
Yeah, and like it's hard to say really.
Yeah.
Like, I think this like they're all like kind of wayward kids, and because some presenters are just like he just has a stutter.
Yeah.
But then Joey seems to have like learning challenges. Vic obviously seems to have anger issues, quite profound ones. That maybe isn't appropriate for that kind of institution. And nymphomaniacs.
It definitely feels like with a lot of the kills, like the makeup just wasn't there. Because like Tina's kill, like the shears to the eyes, I was like, oh, here we go.
I do like that idea though.
I love the idea.
It's incredibly brutal.
Because it cuts away. And I thought, oh, I wonder what state she's going to be in when he comes back. Because like the way that he like opens up the shears afterwards.
I think a bunch of these kills got trimmed.
Right, okay.
Just because it was too much, because there's loads of them. So maybe like, but I do agree, like, it's obviously you've gone from Savini. What we've done, we've just done 8 people. That's as many kills as we've had in other films. And all of them are just so
awful.
We actually actively want them to perish.
Yeah.
Which is a very different dynamic. Violet body popping for ages.
Yeah, that's really odd, that is, isn't it? They're all very talented, these kids. Maybe that's what it is. We're like, look, we don't have much film. We don't have much on the page, but can you do anything? And they were like, well, I was a Playboy bunny. Okay, you're in the maybes. What can you do? I can body pop. Also maybes. Like,
I think that's basically...
We'll get 8 minutes out of that.
That's another thing that can just fill time. And she does it for ages, man.
I
wonder if the editor's like, well, I need to trim down the porn.
Yeah.
So let's put more in the body pop in.
They sing "Ooh Baby" in a toilet for about 10 minutes. So I got a bit of that. I feel like some of those shots are repeated as well. Like,
I just thought about this when we were just talking about all these people, and maybe it's not a bad comparison between Pinehurst and so what's this? 1985.
Yeah,
not sure off the top of my head, but like Dream Warriors.
Right. Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3, where Nancy's in an institution.
Yeah,
and all those characters that she's with are incredibly likable.
Yeah.
And you believe they've got problems, and they actually, I'm not saying it would be the most sensitive thing to
rewatch.
No,
exactly.
It was written by Frank Darabont, and there's an effort to like give them sympathetic backstories. Whereas these, even though they've got problems, you actually just go, oh, they're really annoying.
I think the play with the writer, I think the play was purposefully to make the audience want these people to die, because even Demon and Anita, who were introduced in this kind of like introduced in this like quite odd way. Red just keeps talking about going to see his brother. They want to see his brother on a dirt track in a van, and the woman's taking him down as well. But like they go from being these are decentish people to being he's really awful. I can't wait for him to die very quickly.
Yeah, and I think even rewind to like. So we've talked about the Expend again.
Yeah.
Demon and Neo, another 2.
Yeah.
But like rewind to someone that maybe we should have a bit more attachment to. Tommy, been through an incredible lot.
Yeah.
But then to make him the choice, I know you can make someone angry and withdrawn, but you've had Vic just kill Joey.
Yeah.
To have like Tommy just beat up people for like very small things.
Yeah.
Just... Are we not supposed to have more sympathy for him?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Or maybe are we meant to like fear him and think he's Jason? But again, that doesn't work.
Like the Moonlight sort of beatdown that he gives to Junior. Again, this is probably having a great time with that. It's just like, we shot this a lot. So...
We basically cast an actor who can fight.
I feel like that's a scene from Roadhouse.
Yeah, no, the way it's shot just like on the moonlit asphalt.
And because he's built as well. Like... I don't know. Like,
can we learn
anything? I mean, like, actually, I got 2. I got 2 things, right? Let me give you the first one. New danger. Don't ride a motorbike.
Just in general. Well, I always thought that.
I would have a go, but if it was offered to us,
I once rode a mini motorbike in Blackburn at a country fair. Yeah, and I burnt all my inside leg on the petrol tank as a kid. I had blistered inside thigh. That just shows you back then how like regulated stuff was.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Mum, can I go on a little mini motorbike? Went on it, burned all my thigh really badly, and it was all blistered up. And the bloke was just, my mum was just like, I'm going to go. And the bloke was like, you chose to go on it.
Yeah, that's what
So I agree.
Yes.
And don't eat spicy food and have to sit on the toilet for ages.
I love spicy food though.
Yeah, but do you want to do it while you're camping?
I feel like America's got like Mexican food and spicy like hot sauce on lock. So I think we'd be.
Okay.
I think
You don't want to rule that out for yourself.
yeah, we'll be cutting off quite a big part of the trip that I was planning. I think, but in connection to that though, I do actually genuinely think don't go to a single outside toilet.
Yeah.
Where possible.
Because we know this from part 2 as well.
Yeah.
Harold gets killed.
Yeah, I think a single outside toilet should be
Like
cut
Steptoe.
off. Yeah, absolutely not.
I think that's a good
Hold
one.
it or go somewhere else.
Last week's was also bathroom related.
Okay, cool.
Which is like, remember to lock your bathroom door.
Yeah.
But then and don't go to a single bathroom.
Don't go to a single bathroom.
An isolated outside bathroom.
And outdoors, yeah.
What about, I know I say this every week, like don't have sex, but don't have sex as much as this. Or quite as flamboyantly as this.
Yeah.
We don't have to put it in.
Yeah.
A bigger one.
Yeah.
Don't kill anyone's kid.
Don't kill anyone's kid. That's true.
Because that's what sets all this off.
Yeah.
And that's what set off all the previous films. Don't be responsible for the death of someone's kid, or don't kill someone's kid.
Yeah. I wasn't planning on, and I'm trying to equate these to myself. That's why.
Like what needs to be
food.
What needs to be explicit, what's implicit.
Yeah. Because the thing
I wasn't planning on doing that either.
Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm glad you said it.
But motorbike is that for me.
Yeah. Thing is, I'd never go on a motorbike, I think. But I think the thing about the outside toilet, to bring it back to that I just think is weird is I don't like knowing or not knowing what's behind me on the toilet. And it feels like because that's in the middle of something. So like
somebody can like be 360.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Do you think you would make a good magician's assistant?
Yeah, no. Checking it, just like checking every single thing, because I feel like you do put yourself in an incredibly vulnerable position by going to an outside toilet.
It's also like Gennaro.
Yes, exactly.
Might also be part of your psychology on that.
Also, there'll be spiders and stuff in it as well. Like, it ain't gonna be clean.
Just like, I don't want to go to spiders.
Yeah.
I think this one.
Yeah.
I'm happy to induct that.
Yeah.
One larger question.
Yeah.
Does any of these matter? Because it's not Jason.
Ooh, yeah.
I know the first ones weren't either. They were Pam.
Also, maybe we can even go even further.
Or should we just be scared of everyone?
Yeah, maybe we can just go any further and like take largely every single annoying, unlikable character.
Don't be annoying.
Don't be annoying?
I think don't be annoying.
Yeah.
Is that better for life?
I think so.
Because we did have the bathroom one last week.
Yeah.
We could add that as a subclause to the bathroom one.
Yeah.
Do you want it to be just don't be annoying?
Don't be annoying, yeah. So what have we got?
Are we saying officially don't be annoying?
I think don't be annoying.
Because if we said last time we're going to basically do sunscreen.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
Yeah. Some of them will be like that though.
So these are our don'ts.
Okay, yeah. Okay?
Don't play strip poker.
Fine.
Or a strip variant of any game or pastime.
Got it.
Oh, strip Monopoly, sorry.
Yeah.
Don't play don't skinny dip.
Yeah.
Don't be rude to shopkeepers.
Very good. Don't
leave the bathroom door unlocked. Subclause, go to a single standalone outside bathroom.
Perfect.
5, don't be annoying.
Don't be annoying. That's good. That's good rules, man. That's some good shit. That's really good. Well, we talked about our victims. We got this is an interesting week for survivors.
Yeah. One of our survivors is a killer.
Yeah. So who
That's not good, is it?
So on our rules, they have to have basically gone up against Jason, or in this case Roy, the killer, and live to tell the tale.
Yeah.
So we have 3?
We've got 3.
Yeah.
I would say. We've got Pam,
yeah,
Tommy, and Reggie.
Yeah.
But there's a subsection to this whether Pam survives the movie.
Yeah.
We don't see her die, but it's strongly implied that she does get murdered.
Yeah.
But she gets murdered by one of our survivors, Tommy.
Yeah. It's really confusing. But like Reggie, that's good.
There's another kid that survives.
Another kid. That's the thing, is like when you start hearing about like, oh, they wanted Feldman back, you can kind of go, oh yeah, maybe some of these bits. But then I guess the really hard thing with these movies is you've got to put that kid with an adult.
Yeah. It has to be a really good kid.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I don't think Reggie's bad. He's just like, he gets given like weird stuff to do.
He has very weird stuff to do. Like the way that he is with Anita in the van It's very strange. It was like, where did you get that?
Yeah, precocious little guy, isn't he? Also, when he's like Pam's his girlfriend.
Yeah. Also, again, we're talking about like parental negligence. I know, like, I guess it's his dad, who seems to like be the chef of that bit.
Oh, his granddad.
Granddad seems to be the chef of that center. But at the same time, there's a lot of people there who are quite unwell. So maybe looking after your
it's hard to know
grandson.
It's hard to know whether they thought something like Vic could happen, but I feel that's really negligent from Dr. Matthew Letter.
I think I would bring it up and go, oh, just so you know.
Again, is it also that theme of the theme of the series so far is insufficient childcare in the 80s.
Yeah.
Pam did it.
Yeah.
Even though that was the 50s.
Yeah.
Also, just dumping your child Joey off here. Look after your kids.
I used to have to go.
Rachel's going to be a killer in one of these now.
My mum used to clean a nursing home, so sometimes in summer holidays, I would have to go with her because there's no one else to watch me. And I was fine. I just sit in. She'd put me in like
keep yourself watch videos or something.
Yeah, I was just like reading books, but she'd put me in like the sitting room with all the old people, and sometimes it was incredibly scary. For some reason, like I was really obsessed with the payphone. They had this huge like payphone. So basically, what I started doing was like going round and singing for the old people, so they give me 10 pence so I could use the payphone.
What were you ringing?
Like my nan.
You were singing for them?
And I was just
were you taking requests?
So I'd go and sing for these old people, and then I would be like, oh, that'd be 20p, please. And I got in trouble because I would be like literally taking requests and going around and being like, oh, I can sing in Welsh as well. Like they do that sing in Welsh for them. That will cost you more, yeah.
But I got you were literally something for the old people.
Yeah. But like I got in trouble for it because my mum was like, at the end of the day, she was like, did you charge a load of the old people money to things? Like, yeah, I wanted to ring Nan. Yeah. And she was like, don't do that. So sometimes you are just along for the ride in situations like that. So I do actually. No,
I think he's just getting pushed around, isn't he?
Yeah,
and it's quite sad actually when you really process what's happening to him.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think the filmmakers are necessarily thinking that. We're thinking about that more.
No, yeah.
But I think I found this one a really hard one to come up with what to do.
Yeah.
From them, because I don't think they necessarily do anything.
No.
That is like be good at suplexing stuff.
I think it's almost a fireman's lift because it looks like Kurt Angle wrestler's finisher.
I showed my notes.
Like I think it's because a fireman's lift is something, to be fair, people are meant to be able to do.
Are they?
You could fireman
just in case you need to carry someone.
Yes. So I think like the trajectory and stuff like that.
I'm all down
for learning a fireman's lift.
We're going to be in a wilderness situation. We've got knots. Anything that is like Ray Mearsy, I think is good.
It looks almost like a fireman's lift style thing. And it's similarly like it's probably too late. 9 weeks. It's probably too late to get ripped. Like Tommy, is it?
Controversial one. And again, I don't think this will make the cut because I might not want to pursue this. Way of surviving is actually just be a killer yourself.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's true. Like another one's like learn how to sword fight with a chainsaw. Yeah, because she does pretty well sword fighting with that chainsaw.
Because Ginny also used chainsaw
yes,
briefly.
True.
And the thing I worry about, I think chainsaw, obviously, marvelous weapon.
Yes.
If you can get it working, great. I would shit myself coming out with a chainsaw and not getting it started.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's
like it's like Butch in Pulp Fiction. Do you take the samurai sword or the chainsaw?
Yeah.
If you run in with the chainsaw, there's a lot of pressure on you in that moment to get it going.
Yeah.
I take the samurai sword.
Yeah. I actually really, like, as much as, I didn't really get on with a lot of the editing in this movie, I actually really did love the bit where she's, like, fighting him with a chainsaw, and then it cuts out, and the music even drops out, and Reggie does this look, which is so funny, where he's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, she's dead.
She's dead. Oh, just thought about the climax of that. Jason doesn't do well in barns.
No, that's true, actually, yeah.
To be fair, he does get some kills away in a barn.
Yeah, he does.
But ultimately, we've seen him kind of get killed in barns or in and around barns.
Yeah, that's true.
But the jeopardy of a barn is there's loads of sharp stuff for him as well. But we also have it on hand.
What's the thing that he lands on? What job is that doing in a farm?
Is it tilling soil?
I have no idea. But I was just like, why does that exist?
We shouldn't leave it out.
I wouldn't leave it out. No,
cover it. I'm okay with
similar. I mean, like
be ripped. No,
learning to operate a JCB. Probably too late.
What was the other one we said? The
Fireman's Lift.
One. Fireman's Lift. So Fireman's Lift or what's doable in 9 weeks? Oh, I can't get a JCB license in 9 weeks, can I?
Probably not. But I reckon, learn how to do Kurt Angle, the wrestler's finisher.
So I've done that. Lift.
Like,
is that you?
Like, I can pretty much do that, I think.
I don't know if I can do it. Well, you can do it for both.
Fireman's Lift. Yeah, I could definitely do a Fireman's Lift, I think.
You're saying learn the Fireman's Lift.
Yeah, learn how to do a Fireman's Lift. Because I think the point of a Fireman's Lift is the sort of trajectory of the lift. I think physics means that anyone can do it to a regular size human.
Agree. With them, so he does this, but he turns it into like an offensive.
Yeah, he
move.
sticks him through something. Yeah,
but we could use that defensively, and we could also use it to help each other.
Yeah, well, I think if Jason was running at you, you could just Fireman's Lift him.
You like it's like judo. You redirect his energy.
Correct. I think maybe I don't know.
So we doing that?
I've never lifted someone under duress.
Well, 9 weeks.
I've never lifted anybody that didn't want to be lifted. Okay. I'm putting it.
I've seen you pick up Coco when she's like... Right, we're going with this.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think that's really good.
We got it.
So what's our recap? What's our lessons?
Some good bushcrafting here. Right. Okay. Learn how to tie at least 3 knots.
Fantastic.
How you getting on with that?
Yeah, good.
Go to a bar for most of the evening.
Getting on really well with that one.
My favorite one so far, make an impact.
Yeah.
4. I don't really remember doing this one. Bound.
Subtle bounding. Yeah.
Subtle bounding.
Yeah, that's I can get on with that.
And then 5, learn how to do a Fireman's Lift. It's varied.
It is varied. I guess that's
yeah. There you go.
If they were all the same, no point with that. So, what outstanding questions have you got?
Where's Tommy's sister?
Yeah,
she's disowned him.
Well, then maybe he is dealing with the trauma of her a lot worse. So.
Yeah, or he's taken himself away.
Yeah.
Why hasn't he left Camp Crystal Lake? But does he think... It's hard to know whether he thinks Jason is dead, because he has, like, all he knows, brutally murdered him. And he's just haunted by the trauma of doing that. It's hard to know whether Tommy thinks he's supernatural and can come back.
Yeah.
My other question is, how does Tommy have the mask at the end? How does he have Roy's mask in his hospital drawer? Why have they left that there for him?
Yeah, that's a good point. To be fair, we have witnessed like emergency services not be great when it comes to collecting like masks, jumpers, evidence, heads.
I think even in part 4, when they collect the axe from the barn, I don't think we talked about that. They put a bag over the top. It's like, what about the whole handle?
Yeah, that'll do.
That's good. Yeah, but put it. This is the weird thing about
someone left it. They go, he'll like that.
The guy who maybe is the inheritor of Jason's evil.
Yeah.
What is really weird, and I guess this encroaches on this, is like the whole ending thing.
Yeah.
And we know this series likes a little like fake out ending scare thing. It's very weird to show Tommy killing Pam.
Yeah.
Fake you out.
Yeah.
And then Tommy kills Pam.
Yeah.
That is the definition of just having it both ways.
I feel like some of that, I was like, am I watching deleted scenes?
Yeah, it feels like those are 2 endings.
Yeah. But I guess like that's the point, isn't it? Like seeing Pam walk down the like hallway of the hospital. You're like, okay, no, that's the kind of the point they're going for. But yeah, some of that I was like, am I just watching a deleted scene here?
Yeah. And despite the whole film, the killer being another character, we're meant to go, oh, actually,
remember?
Tommy has either broken and become a new killer.
Yeah.
Inspired by Jason, or Jason actually does live within him.
Yeah. Because the way that I was thinking about it was maybe that Tommy has now, living with the trauma of being afraid of Jason, but also maybe fearing becoming Jason. So he's taking himself away to this halfway house, and oh shit, it's all happening again. Yeah. I think that's the kind of way that I was reading it, and then that's why it ends like that.
But then it becomes, I think I just really also just think it's something unsatisfying and actually quite cruel to have a character that's been a victim and go through all that become a monster.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's something they flirt with in the recent Scream films with her dad being Billy.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you've got this in you, you've got this in, and it's kind of something about it. I just think it's a little bit too easy, and it's unsympathetic and quite mean.
Yeah, no, it is. It's
like, oh, you'll never break out of it, and it's just
knowing kind of like what comes. It's not like they go, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like,
they just want the image of it.
Yeah, and I think that's the really, once it gets to 5 of them, you're like, ooh, that thing that I used to think was really that thing that I used to think was really fun at the end of the films is now actually, when you watch them very close together, becoming quite unsatisfying.
And they feel saddled by it.
Yeah.
That we have to have this thing.
Rather than it being quite a fun thing that they're doing.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think you would have survived A New Beginning?
I definitely would have been more sympathetic, and I wouldn't have been as annoying. So maybe I would have had a chance. But that being said, I do like enchiladas, so I don't know really.
You chose not to put that in as a rule.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
We're taking that risk.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back next week, and you better be prepared because Jason's back, because it's Jason Lives.
The boy, is he dead too?
Ma'am, we didn't find any boy.